Hey everyone, Rudy Caseres back here for another Bipolar Untangled. So my first episode, just wanted to keep it simple, what is bipolar? But I thought for the second episode, I wanted to challenge myself even further. So I decided to create the Bipolar Icebergs. So for those who don't know about the iceberg meme, you basically take a topic and then you have the different layers. You have the very top and then go down below to the very bottom of the iceberg. Layer by layer, it gets even more obscure, more esoteric. It's been done with movies and different kind of disorders and what have you and everything. So I wanted to do one on bipolar. I didn't find one online, so I made one myself. So that took a lot of time, but hey, it's mine, so I don't have to credit anyone else with it or have anyone else come after me. So without further ado, let's get into the swing of things. Let's start at the very top, and that is even above the actual iceberg. So the very top is mentally healthy, and that means whatever you feel like healthy means. I'm not into the whole medical paternalism, so I'm not trying to say what is and what isn't healthy. I'll let you figure that out. Hopefully it's not killing people. That's good enough for me. So we're off to a good start. Okay, so let's get on to tier number 2. And these are more of your typical symptoms that you see in any bipolar list of symptoms for the most part. So you have dysthymia, which is a low-level depression. And so some people with bipolar don't have this, or others do, and that's totally fine. That's just basically just constant low-level depression where you're not too depressed where you can't really function. A lot of people have this, don't even know about it. Next we have Anhedonia. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. So this is just lack of emotion, not being able to feel pleasure from things, not finding a typical joke funny, your favorite video game isn't fun anymore, your favorite movie isn't as enjoyable as it used to be, and you're just blah. Restlessness. So you can't sleep, you're just constantly just like tired and agitated and just want to go to sleep but can't. Elevated mood. So this isn't quite mania yet or even hypomania, but you just feel a little extra kick in your step. I have this every now and then. Like, I've only been like really manic just a few times in my entire life. Every now and then, like, I have this elevated mood, and I do think, like, could this be turning into a manic episode? Apathy. So basically this is a little bit tied to anhedonia as well, but just do not care about anything. Like, your best friend could be getting married. Meh. The world could be coming to an end. Irritability. So this just means just like the smallest things, like they're just like very annoying and frustrating, and you're just tense, but you're not quite at the point of like getting violent, which was a little teaser for a future tier coming up soon. The lack of concentration. So just can't really like focus, concentrate, if you will, and just can't really get into the zone and just kind of just walking through life. Excess sleepiness. So you're going to sleep for 12 plus hours, waking up at 3 p.m. and just having a deep sleep and waking up like feeling like you just rose from the dead and just still feeling exhausted no matter how long you slept and no matter how out you were. Moving on to tier 3. Now we're getting into more, for lack of a better word, serious symptoms, but not quite to the point where you should be really concerned. Sometimes these things just happen and you get through them and move on with your life. Fatigue. So you're just cannot, for the life of you, no matter what you do, no matter how much caffeine, how much sleep, whatever, just cannot have any energy at all, and just again, just walking through life, feeling like a zombie, nothing matters, just deep within your bones kind of fatigue, almost to the point where it physically hurts. Pressured speech. So let me just demonstrate this. This is basically like just like most people, like when they have like way too much caffeine, but for when you're having a hypomanic or manic episode, it just keeps coming and coming and coming, and just the pressured speech, you just can't really talk, and you just keep going and going and going, and just like sometimes you make sense, sometimes you don't, sometimes you just make up words and you're blah 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 blah. Racing thoughts. So this is tied into the pressured speech, but on the inside. So your mind just constantly just forming ideas that not all the time they make sense to even you, just blah 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 blah, just always something going on in there, moving at like 1,000 miles per hour, and sometimes that can be a little scary. Hyperactivity. So this is basically racing thoughts and pressured speech, but in physical moving form. So you're just always wanting to move your hands, and even more than I'm doing right now, or just having the sensation inside, like the urge to exercise, like go running for 2 miles and just keep going and going and going, and just without any destination at all, or wanting to do like 100 push-ups in a row, just like in the middle of a street. Weight gain or weight loss. This is usually due to the exercise and just like moving a lot more than you were, but also withholding food, or you're having a lot more food than before. This is something that not everyone deals with, either weight loss or weight gain or either, but it is in there. So just wanted to make sure that that's covered. Moving on to tier 4, and here's where things start getting serious, and you really should take note and making sure you're getting some kind of support here. Hopelessness. So this is when depression gets so bad where you're feeling like, what is the point? Do I have any meaning to my life? Am I going to amount to anything? Does anybody love me? Am I going to be alone forever? Am I going to ruin other people's lives? That kind of thing. And left unchecked, that could lead to suicidality, which we'll get to in a bit. Paranoia. Now this is more towards the manic side, and just feeling like someone is behind you, people are talking about you behind your back. Risk-taking behaviors. Now this can lead anything from gambling to impulsive spending to picking a fight with someone you know is going to beat you up. And so this can cover like all kinds of the classic manic experiences that you've heard about, or may have even experienced yourself. Impulsivity. And this is also tied to the risk-taking behaviors, and just not even thinking at all about the consequences of your actions. So just if you wanted to have like 10 sex partners in one day with no protection, and just I'll figure it out later, or open up a new house loan or new car loan, apply for 10 different credit cards, have no money to back it up, and just think like, oh, I'll just figure it out later. That kind of thing. And that can be one of the most dangerous things about being manic. And it can be managed, but you need to know about these signs ahead of time, have some support for people who may be able also to help support you when you get manic, and don't end up making any serious long-term consequence decisions that you normally wouldn't if you weren't manic. And last on this tier, hypersexuality. You want to have a lot of sex. Now, edging towards the bottom of the iceberg, we have tier 5. So, anger. And this can get really out of hand when you couple it with impulsivity and hyperactivity and hypersexuality and irritability and restlessness. So that's why I wanted to put it towards the bottom, because when it's fueled by all these other things above, then that's what actually can lead to violence. Now, to be clear, not everyone who is manic or depressive or mixed or whatever is violent, but it can happen, and we need to talk about it. We also have vindictiveness, and so you may be thinking that everyone's out to get you and want to right all the wrongs against you, and just like being really nasty about it as well, and just feeling like you have power over others, which leads us also to narcissism, where you're just above everyone else, that you're incapable of making mistakes, everyone else is wrong, everyone else is trying to put you in a box or belittle you or your enemy, and that you have all the right answers and that people would just listen to you, that you would be able to just basically rule the whole universe. Which also leads us to false belief of superiority. And so you may even be someone who is superior to some people in some aspects. But when you get this full-blown manic, you just think that you're better than everyone and that you don't have time for people's mistakes, or you're very impatient, you're just like, move, get out of my way. And so everyone else, again, is below you, and that you are the master and ruler of the universe. Next here, now we're really starting to get into the nitty-gritty and down and dirty, which leads us to delusions. Now we'll get into more extreme delusions down below, so I guess more tier-appropriate delusions were more just about just thinking that you're the greatest thing since sliced bread, maybe even that you could be president or mayor of your town, or that you have like some idea that's going to change the whole world and that you're just being held back and things of that nature. We also have hallucinations, where you're seeing things others don't, hearing things that others don't. Now this is more of a symptom of schizophrenia, but people who are manic can also have hallucinations, because not everything is nicely wrapped into a bow and we have all these clean diagnoses, a lot of overlap. And then there's unwanted thoughts, and this could be actual voices that you hear in your head, or that voice that we all have in our head that tells us that we're bad or good or whatever. But when you're at this level, you're basically hearing voices that tell you that you should kill yourself, or that you are a god, which leads us to our next tier, and that is tier 7, Euphoria. Now, this is more than just feeling great or whatever. This is actually feeling like you have electricity soaring through you, like your just soul is trying to escape from your body because you can't hold it in anymore, and just feeling like just basically like you're godlike. Which leads us to hubris. Now, going more towards like the biblical definition of hubris, and so this basically means that you believe that you are God, or a god, and have the power of a god and can control things, and everyone else is below you and should worship you, when you should be the leader of the world or the universe. Yeah, we're at that level now. But on the depressive end, you also have self-harm, and where you are physically either cutting yourself or choking yourself or doing all kinds of other things to basically cause bodily harm to yourself. Now, this doesn't always mean that you're suicidal. It can actually be a coping mechanism to keep yourself from actually killing yourself. Preoccupation with death. And this is to the point where you are obsessed with dying, that you want to kill yourself immediately, you're coming up with plans, you're writing notes, you're so depressed, feel of so much despair and hopelessness that you feel like you have no other option. Okay, you made it this far. We are at the final tier, tier 8. And this is full of things that I wouldn't wish upon anyone to experience or be on the receiving end of. And again, people who are experiencing bipolar mania or depression are usually never violent, although it can be an attribute. It does happen. And so we're going to talk about all things bipolar, so we have to talk about this too. We just want to do that disclaimer, and usually people who are experiencing episodes are the victims of violence themselves, so let's make things clear. Suicidal. So you've gone past making plans, you've gone past feeling hopelessness, you actually go for it and take your own life. Homicidal, and so this can be for all kinds of different reasons, and anything from irritated, heated of the moment type of thing to feeling like you're doing the right thing for the universe or to fulfill your destiny or some prophecy. Again, we're talking about like just next level, all the way manic, and that's something that very few people actually experience. So I don't want to make it seem like this is like a very classic symptom of bipolar or even a psychotic mania, but it is there. And we also have matricide and patricide. Now, matricide is when the mother kills one of her kids. This can be something like postpartum, where the mother has psychotic symptoms and thinks that like her son or daughter needs to be killed, which sounds really screwed up. That this actually is a thing for the betterment of themselves or the mother or the universe or for unexplained reasons. And patricide is when someone kills their father, which is the opposite of matricide, where the mother kills their whatever. And so again, this could be for all kinds of different reasons, but when you're usually at this level, it is because of a delusion or hallucination. You think that your father is the devil or out to get everyone, needs to be taken out, is the next Hitler, all kinds of different reasons. All of them lead to very bad things. And so that leads us to the end of this video, the end of this iceberg. Again, a lot that we didn't cover in this video, but I tried to make it as short as possible, and hopefully this can lead us to have some break-offs for future topics and to deep dive them even further. So I'm so glad we got to cover this together, and I'd love to hear your feedback in the comments. If you like this video, please subscribe. Feel free to suggest topics for future videos. If I was incorrect in anything, feel free to correct me as well in the comments. I'm sure there's got to be something that I messed up. So thank you. I'm Rudy Caseres. This is Bipolar Untangled. Until next time.